let's open our session. All right, I'm going to pull some cards. I want to give a shout out to Nina Kahn, who created this fabulous Cosmic Dreamscape Astrology Oracle. I've been using it almost every day lately. So, and then I also did this for you. I set up another camera so that you can see my cards. Okay. So we've got Kazemi and we've got Sagittarius. I don't know how to get this to focus better. Got Kazemi. And we've got Sagittarius. So seize the sunny opportunities and shoot for the stars. Well, you know, the sun is a star. Kazemi is when something is exactly conjunct the sun. Sagittarius is searching for adventure, and Sagittarius is also a fire sign. Now, the Kazemi, it makes me think of, it's not exactly an eclipse, but it kind of feels like an eclipse. And it kind of feels like with this Libra full moon, something really kind of clicked, almost like going from the energy of one sign to another. Libra. Oh my goodness. Yes, Libra. Libra full moon. Things are being balanced out. Oh, the moon. Wow, Libra and moon just came out. All right. I'm gonna pull just a couple more because this is like, I feel it. Okay, so Virgo is tidy up your life. And fifth house, let's have some fun. Yeah, I'm getting this kind of the vibe of releasing some stuff, clearing, decluttering. That's always good for any full moon. But the thing is, sometimes, yeah, the balance can come in. The scales can rebalance when you release stuff from your life. And tidying up your life, releasing stuff from your life, it really could look like letting go of any number of things. It could look like letting go of things that are taking up space in your life that are not actually fulfilling you or making you happy, not actually building towards anything. It could be letting go of a habit. It could be letting go of doom scrolling. It could be letting go of prioritizing somebody who doesn't prioritize you. It could look like letting go of an obsession or fixation, preoccupation with something that is not ever going to go anywhere or do anything. Oh, I'm getting I'm getting an image in my mind now of I'm gonna show myself on the stream. I'm getting the image now in my mind of a bird sitting in a cage that is open. And the bird has been in the cage its whole life. And the bird is looking out of the cage and it doesn't know what it's like. It's actually quite scary. There's a lot of things out there. You know, there's cats, there's dogs, there's hawks, many, many kinds of predators out there. And the bird has been in its cage the whole life. Oh, yeah, sad feeling about this. Caged animal was meant to be free, wild animal was meant to be free, did not learn the skills, just tried to be domesticated, and now the door is open. Those skills can be relearned, reclaimed. You never really forget them in your body. Proceed with caution, but also know that you are protected. That is when you're not actually doing this alone. You're doing this with the support of your guides and your ancestors. So speaking of the ancestors, I'm gonna draw from the Santa Muerte Book of the Dead, which is by Fabio Listrani. And we've got Moon at the bottom of the deck, which is also speaking to this full moon. Yeah, there was some energy that it feels like a shard. Feels like a shard of energy that was like put into you to keep Almost like if this were a futuristic scenario, it'd be like a brain chip, right? It was something that was supposed to curb your behavior. It was supposed to make you easy to control. Another message that keeps coming through my mind a lot that wants to be delivered, and I'm just going to deliver it again, is beware of people who hide behind ignorance. Be aware of people who hide their true intentions from themselves. Be wary of people who are not self-aware, because two things: they can be easily co-opted by entities and egregores, and then communities, belief systems, like cults, right? There's a lot of cultic stuff coming up right now. All right, so, but then also, two, they can consciously or subconsciously, and subconsciously is not unconsciously. Like your subconscious, to some extent, does know what it's doing. Can hide things from yourself to evade self-accountability and claim ignorance as an excuse. Oh, I didn't know any better. Because when you know better, you have to do better. And so some people take that and they translate to, oh, well, I didn't know any better, so now I don't have to do better. This means that we really have to step up our integrity. It means that what we do matters. It means that when we do know better and then we don't do better, then in some way we are betraying ourselves. And we are also betraying someone, right? We're experiencing, expressing the energy of betrayal. And we have all done that. And so bringing compassion into that space, because shame is what causes us to do that. Shame is what causes us to hide from ourselves, hide from the true motivations, or turn away from God. God is love and God heals all. God requires that we turn towards God. God is not going to condone anything that we do. But the moment we turn to God, then we make a choice to bring it back to that healing source. We choose accountability and choose to keep choosing God. And by God, I mean that connection to all things, right? That greater life force that runs through us all, that connects us all, that sees all. I really do believe that that force is love. I had a client recently ask me, what is love? She was really insistent on it. And I thought about it and I realized how hard it can be to define love, especially when so much of the romantic narratives that we have in our culture are not expressing love. They're expressing something else: control, possessiveness, jealousy, selfishness, egotism, vanity, envy, or self-sacrifice. Even, self-sacrifice could be done in a healthy or unhealthy way. It's just a matter of whether you're doing it like in conversation with God and your spirit guides. Okay, I pulled the star. Oh, this is a message from the ancestors. Look at this. Guiding, healing, hope. Someone is so proud of you. Someone is here right now, watching over you and seeing you. Oh, I'm getting emotional as I say this. Seeing you as a person who has come to heal your family line. And they deeply appreciate this. And it is know that this is not a pun. It's not a burden on your shoulders that you have to carry alone. It's not. It may have felt as though it was. It may have felt as though it was. Okay. Then we got Santa Muerte, death. There's a cradle right there. That's like the Mother Mary, but she's got a scythe. It's like the scythe is the moon in that traditional Mary symbology. So this feels like a mother ancestor standing over you. This feels like your grandmother standing over you, watching you, taking care of you, and helping you to transform and compost family trauma. And by trauma, I mean like all of the long-ranging effects of trauma. If you are interested in exploring intergenerational healing, I just got the Seven of Pentacles, which has to do with, in this card, it looks like an abacus. Things adding up. Look, this guy is connecting the dots. He's adding things up. He's taking what's already there and he's counting it and he's accounting for it. Oftentimes this card is associated with gardening and growth, but like it has to do with multiplication. What I was going to say is if you want to look into ancestry, so the way that I offer ancestral work, ancestral healing, I don't need to know anything about your family tree. I don't need to know who your ancestors are. What I ask you to do is kind of look into it from a variety of ways for yourself. This is like for yourself to be able to connect with. For those of you who don't know very much about where you come from, you can do this by exploring sensations in your body. It's really cool. You do this with somatic hypnotherapy, intuition, and storytelling. We just take what is coming up and we account for it, right? We look at it and we put it into places where anything that is stored in our nervous system, anything that can be experienced as trauma can also be mined. It can be transmuted into something else. It can be transmuted into something else. So let's see what else. See what else wants to come up. Okay, I've got Six of Wands came out in the reverse. And that also has the scythe. I want to say that looks like this is about you have been delayed. Let's see what else. You have been delayed from what? Emotional satisfaction, emotional fulfillment. Oh, I get this. It's have been delayed from pursuing your happiness because there was a conditioning to put other people's happiness above your own. But that is changing now with the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is turning. I'm also getting, okay, so this is not just about your personal satisfaction. This also has to do with castes of people. It has to do with the way that society is structured. It doesn't please God that there should be a permanent underclass. It doesn't please God that anyone should be made less than because of the circumstances of their physical appearance. Stepping into a new story with the Fool. And he's got a briefcase, and it kind of looks to me, and he's got a butterfly, and he's got churches behind him. Yeah, I feel like new contract with God is what's coming through here. Okay, and that also reminds me of something that came up in a hypnosis session. I was working with a client who had peripheral neuropathy. Now, I do not claim that I can cure or treat any, and I definitely do not diagnose. But if the root cause of the medical issue is a spiritual thing, hypnosis can help. And so the peripheral neuropathy, like we were working with it, we were working with like the sensation in her feet, which interestingly, if you think about the sensation in your feet, that also has to do with your rootedness or your contact with the ground. And when she got into it, she discovered that what she found in her feet was like a faulty contract with God. That she had made a contract with God that God had not made with her. And that's what I think of with like redoing the contract with God. It's not that God ever made a contract with us that would impose this hierarchical system. That is a contract that we made, or that is a contract that humans made. Some humans made, maybe even not all of us. If we are making an agreement with God that God didn't make with us, then there are going to be misunderstandings, miscommunications, and disconnects, right? It's like God is just like, no, I'm not going to join you in trying to control another person. I'm not going to join you in not doing your own healing work. I'm not going to join you in hurting somebody else, right? And so the new way, yes, the new way is to not try to be God, but to recognize that we are okay. So we are and we are not. I am not, right? Like, may I not be so blinded by my ego that I unconsciously try to do the work that is actually for God. Let me not take on what is not mine to take. And at the same time, let me not be so negatively egotistical that let me not be so negatively egotistical that I don't step up into what I can actually do out of fear of my own power, for that is God, right? Like, it's arrogant to try to control every aspect of how your creative work is going to be received, right? It's not your job to understand how your work will be received or to take responsibility for every impact of like how that's going to land in different people's minds. Your job is to be connected to God, and your job is to trust God, and your job is to your job is to show up. Your job is not to control. Your job is to allow. And then when we get that right, and when we stop taking responsibility for things that are not our responsibility, and take responsibility for what is actually our responsibility, that is when the magic happens. That is when the sun comes out. That's when we transform into that butterfly. Okay, anything else? Ancestors. That feels like, okay, so that was, because this is coming through the ancestry deck, that means that this is something in your family that is coming up to be healed, okay? Uh-huh. And then the Knight of Pentacles is talking about planting seeds. The being steadfast, being faithful, trusting that the work that you put in, it's gonna, okay, I got a good one too. Okay, so the energy that you put into the seed planting is the energy that is going to fruit in ways that you don't expect. I still get people that come up to me in various places that I don't even remember interacting with before, and they come up to me and they tell me about how I touched their life, or like how this thing that I taught, a presentation or something like that, they still use that and it really helps them. And so trust that when you are putting your attention on connecting to channeling that divine source, getting out of your own way and allowing yourself to be a conduit for the divine, then the results of those actions are going to bear fruit with that same kind of energy. Page of Pentacles. Okay, so there's some learning that you are doing, transforming your beliefs about money. You're making a new contract with God about money. You are, okay, so there's like a lot of societal contracts around money that are man-made. They are akin to religion. They're not necessarily of divine source. They're of something else. Three of Swords. Some kind of heartbreak, some kind of betrayal. All right. Oh yeah, some kind of mother wound. So there's some kind of scarcity, lack, wound, betrayal that is coming from your mother's side. So what I'm seeing in that picture, what I'm seeing in that picture is this woman looking into the water, and she's looking really deep into the water, and what she's looking for, she's not exactly looking for what's in the water, she's looking for what's in herself. So this is about like kind of removing right or wrong from the situation and being like, okay, how did this impact me? What lingering effects am I experiencing from this pain or this betrayal or this severance? And then think about how you can ameliorate that in yourself, give that to yourself, or find other sources for that now as you are able to do so. asking for the help of your ancestors and guides. Your healing actually is their healing as well. They're deeply invested in your success. Okay. Yeah, Three of Pentacles says, yes, we are working with you. We are working with you. We are watering you. We are watching you grow. There may be something about two siblings, three siblings, or three people around you, two or three people around you. All right, we got the Hanged Man. Yeah, we see things differently now that we're past. There may be something that is about forgiveness of someone who has passed. Okay. Yeah, that resonates. Okay, so there may be something about somebody who has passed that is asking for forgiveness. You don't have to forgive them for them. You forgive them for you. In whatever way, whatever happened that past person impacted you, or and it also might be that you need to ask forgiveness to someone who can't forgive you anymore because they passed. You may have harmed someone who has passed, and they may be they may see you continuing to suffer under the delusions. All right. And the suffering is important. It's not to be masked, hidden, or shoved down. The suffering is telling you how you need to change. No one can make you do that but yourself. Any suffering coming up around that. And then this separation right here, this can have to do with any kind of separation. It doesn't have to be death. So whether the person died or the person that you hurt died, whether it was a parent or a child, or whether there's like parental alienation, I also associate with a Hanged Man like social contracts, right? And that is interesting because I also came up with the Fool earlier. There's like a rearranging of the social contract. When you think about, why is the hangman hanged? Because he stole a loaf of bread. Well, what if he stole the loaf of bread because he was hungry? Does it matter why he did it or not? Maybe not. Or is it our responsibility as a society to make sure that no one is so hungry that they have to steal? So the hangman asks us to look at it from the other's perspective as well as our own, to balance our own and others, right? What is it? It's like a 7 card. Yeah, balance our own and others perspective. Anything else? Yeah, Hierophant. I'm getting Pablo Legba from this, the guardian of the crossroads, and he is also so we were just talking about like crossing thresholds, right? We're talking about parental alienation. We were talking about forgiveness. Okay, so forgiveness can happen individually, right? Sometimes things have to be severed in order to heal. Sometimes things growing too close can choke something that needs to grow out, or it can outsource work of growth onto the wrong person. Like, everyone is no one is responsible for making the other person grow. And so the Hierophant is a teacher. The Hierophant, I'm seeing the Hierophant. All right, in my mind's eye, I'm seeing like two planets that were bound up together too close, and one was choking the other out. But the one that was being choked out was the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a teacher, and a teacher needs to have emotional distance in order to teach. It's not that teachers can't be emotionally intimate. It's that they need to have a place, like they need to have a proper authority, and they can't have that proper authority when they're being smothered and choked. So yeah, that is a lesson. And also, there's something about right relationship with God too. Like, we all have our own relationship with God. You don't need the Hierophant to have a relationship with God. The Hierophant can give you teachings that point towards God, like he's pointing towards God, right? But the Hierophant is not God. And so not being able to cage the Hierophant is not this is not cutting. You can't have God by caging the Hierophant. I don't know who this message is for. This is such a weird message coming through. Okay. Yeah. Something is going to be happening very quickly, or a lot of messages are coming through very quickly. Something has gotten unstuck. Oh, I see. In my mind's eye, I see a stick that was stuck on the side of the bank of the river, and now the water has washed it, and now it's flowing very quickly now. The Emperor. I'm seeing specifically one of the renegotiating social contracts that we're going through right now is the fall of patriarchy. You might laugh at me when I say that. I don't know. But I see the rise of women, and that is not to say that men are bad, not in the least. But men are not the same thing as patriarchy. And so, like, old ways that were keeping them, bad contract with God. Bad contract with God. Power and domination based on sex, that is not going to fly moving forward. All right, so now with these two cards, what I see is somebody running very fast and then tripping over a wire, right? Something stopped, something was severed, and now someone's stuck, and now something's being rebalanced. This is kind of like the Justice card, except it's more internal. So inside, we are rebalancing and having to confront our own misuse of power, right? Anytime I try to take the place of God, I am misusing my power. That is not to say that I can't exercise the power of God, but that is to say that I cannot use the power of God to harm others. God loves everyone, not just some of us, right? Right, we got the Four of Cups. Just sitting with something? What are we sitting with? Seven of Cups. Oh, all right. So this is talking about how we know what it's not, but we don't know what it will be yet. We know what it's not, but we don't know what it will be yet. We don't quite know what the new thing will look like. And what do you want to tell us about that? Follow your heart. The Six of Swords is about being a little bit detached, but the Queen of Cups, or the Queen of Hearts, is about really like honoring, protecting, nurturing your heart, and not being afraid to express emotional feelings, like emotionality and vulnerability and truth that comes from your heart. All right, we're going to switch decks, and I'm feeling like we're kind of getting to a point with the reading, getting kind of close to the reading. So let's just pull a few of the pull the Animal Oracle. Okay, so watch your words, Parrot Spirit, watch your words. Okay, so our words are creative life force, to really honor that everything that we speak, everything that we think and speak and do is our creative force, to use that really intentionally and to not repeat. Okay, so parrots like to repeat, right? And we are in this new paradigm now, right? We're in a new space. And so don't use your words to replicate the bad contracts, old ways of thinking, old patriarchal ways of thinking, right? Even with the hands-off movement, right? Expressing anger, expressing rage, all very can be very wholesome and healthy, but also take that opportunity to speak into existence, right? So this is what democracy looks like, or just putting out positive intentions, like together we rise. Together we rise. Yeah, putting out what it is that we want to see. God loves all of us, not just some of us. It's not about positive messaging. It's more about kind of using that ceremony to tune into the new thing that we're trying to create. Okay, so interestingly, this says pig spirit, use your mind wisely. When pigs can fly is a saying. The pigs are very smart. But it might also has to do with law enforcement. Dove spirit, peace. Okay, so this actually feels like very focused towards the hands-off movement, protesting. I'm seeing a lot of protesting coming in through the summer. Let's keep it up. That's very good. One of the reasons why it's important to protest or exercise free speech peacefully is that it legitimizes the movement. The state has the monopoly on violence. And so if you are violent, then that makes it very easy for opponents from both sides to come in and say that the movement is illegitimate or destructive or not helpful. So the more that you can actually show up in a peaceful way, show up in that peaceful strength, the harder it is for those who do not have that peace to say anything. It's like peaceful protest is actually more effective than war. All right, that was a lot. I hope that it turned some wheels in your mind. If you would like to work with me, I'm going to have a link in the description.